It's 2019 and the Real Screeners are about to hash out our favorite movies of 2018, so stay tuned. You know, in choosing my top 10 movies, I have to say that I always battle between choosing movies that are my absolute favorite, like movies that have rewatch value that I authentically enjoy watching, and then choosing movies that I know have a lot of artistic merit to them, you know? How about you?
Okay, so what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to give you my list based on my favorites of this year. It's not going to align with the Oscars or anything like that. It's just, what did I enjoy the most?
What did Lenny truly enjoy?
Right.
Yeah.
And I take into account some of the technical stuff, but
yeah, it's
my gut. Moving on to our top 10. So I'll go ahead and start off with my number 10 on the list.
Gotcha.
May not be on any of y'all's top 10, okay? But for me, I enjoyed Deadpool 2. I did. I'm sorry. I love that movie. It's kooky.
What?
It's funky.
Top 10 movie of the year
for
Deadpool
me that I enjoyed. Gotcha, man. It was funny. I was laughing throughout the whole movie. I thought it was better than the first one. You know, you'll see sequels.
You did
often.
like it better than the first one.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right. You're number 10.
My number 10 is Avengers: Infinity War. Ambitious, big. Thanos is a complex, incredible villain. Great characters. There's no superhero movie like it. You know, great mixture of comedy,
yeah, it's epic, man.
Action, epic. So anyway, your number 9.
All right, going on my number 9, I'll go with shh, don't say a word. A Quiet Place. Who doesn't love that movie? I mean, aside from the fact that this was a different movie that, you know, when I was in the theater, I was embarrassed to like chew anything because everyone would hear it. It was an engaging story, and I like the aliens.
It's different.
I like the concept. I like the challenge of the acting.
Oh, Emily Blunt was awesome in it.
The ending was pretty cool, so that's my number 9.
Yeah, the ending was really, it had a nice, intense crescendo to it, if I recall. All right, well, my number 9 is Hereditary. It's my favorite horror film of the year, and what I really like about Hereditary is that it really serves as a metaphor, as a lot of good horror films do, for, you know, family grief and strife and struggles in the end, you know, and a great performance by Toni Collette, who will receive an Oscar nomination, or I am gonna have a conniption.
We'll tear down that place brick by brick.
Yep, it needs to happen.
Yeah, it's a very suspenseful movie. I loved it.
Yeah, great movie.
Okay, so moving on to my number 8.
Okay.
This will not be popular with you guys. Okay, might be number 1 for some of you guys. It's A Star Is Born.
A Star Is Born.
I mean, I really enjoyed that movie, but it dragged at points for me. You know, I like the directing of Bradley Cooper. I loved his acting. I got a lot more respect for Lady Gaga. Okay,
right.
And it's a compelling story.
There you go. Okay, awesome. Well, my number 8 is Roma by Alfonso Cuarón. Yup, man. When I started watching this movie, it was challenging because it's definitely a slow burn, but man, the movie really takes you into a great place. I just felt like through its sensory images, it really captures the feelings of the 70s, and great black and white cinematography, great acting by this, you know, no-name actress who played Cleo, but a great movie all around.
Number 7 for me is Bohemian Rhapsody. Hey-oh.
All we hear is Radio Gaga. Radio Gaga. Yep, great movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it because mostly of the performance of Rami Malek. I mean, yeah, a lot of people gave it criticism for just kind of being like a karaoke depiction of his movie, right? It was more of a celebration of the songs than him, but hey, look, I wasn't a huge Queen fan, didn't really know his backstory in depth like a lot of people.
But the way that they introduced the songs was so much fun, and it was thoroughly entertaining, and man, that concert at the end,
beautiful.
Beautifully shot, yeah. Definitely.
Please nominate Rami Malek. Please.
Yes. My number 7 film is a movie that I just recently saw, and it is called If Beale Street Could Talk. And this is the first of a string of movies that center around the African American experience, right? And man, it's so good.
Yep.
It's so well acted. It's a love story. It's a love story, and it shows you the difficulties that comes with falling in love, but also how beautiful it can be at the same time, and all the struggles that they face with their family members, and racism, and police brutality, and everything. And the musical score is so good, so captivating. Do not miss this movie. This is definitely worth a watch in the theaters.
Yep. I won't add to that because you basically said everything I would have said.
Good.
So, number 6 for me was, bam! Avengers Infinity War.
Awesome.
For everything that he said earlier, and being a comic book nut, I just loved it. It was almost non-stop action. All these characters put together, masterfully done. They give everyone their screen time, and the fact that what really helped Marvel in this movie was the fact that they had built up to this. They had individual movies that gave the characters their backstories.
Absolutely. It was everything leading up to this.
Right. So you didn't have to delve into that. You could just kind of throw them in there. We all knew who they were. So beautiful. Cannot wait for Endgame.
Okay, so my number 6 movie is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Yes, man. Okay, this is the movie that I had the most fun watching this year in the theaters, hands down. It was heartwarming. It was funny. The visuals were outstanding. I cannot speak enough about the animation. The animation is trippy. It's hypnotic. I loved it.
It's bold.
It's bold.
Everything. Rounding out my top 5 is a movie that was super popular in 2018, Black Panther.
Black Panther.
That's right. It was a celebration of African culture, and I think the character that really stood out was the Killmonger character, played perfectly by Michael B. Jordan. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And then, of course, you have a great coming-of-age story for T'Challa, the main character. So I was interested in the entire movie, so that's my number 5.
Definitely one of the better Marvel movies, and, Wakanda forever. What can you say,
Yep.
Yeah. My number 5 film is actually a documentary.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you guess which one it is?
The Triplets?
It is not the Triplets documentary, although that was a very good movie.
I know, it was Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Won't You Be My Neighbor, man. That movie really, really hit me. I can honestly say that I didn't grow up really watching Mr. Rogers, but I learned so much about...
Here, look, this is what he did. He took off his shoes like this, changed it to his other shoe.
The shoe, and he shared the shoes with everybody, and he put his feet in the swimming pool with other people. No, I mean, it's an eye-opening movie about a good soul with a genuinely good heart, and the documentary really does a good job of showing you his career in his TV show, but also his persona, like who he was. It gets into his psychology as a person, and it's just a breath of fresh air in a world that needs that type of person.
It sounds like such a great movie, and it's one unfortunately that I just could not get around to watching in the little time it was here in our city. So you've got to catch up. I gotta make time for that. Number 4 for me was Black Klansman, a movie that I had read the book, and I was a little...
Read the book as well.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I was disappointed.
Your recommendation?
Yes, it was really different from the book. Hollywood had to make it more exciting, more, I guess, more action-packed,
approachable.
And I loved the way that John David Washington portrayed the main character. Adam Driver, not sure why he's being nominated for an award, but okay.
Yeah, but he did an okay job.
But besides that, this was a movie that obviously put African-American conflict in center stage. It was very compelling. Spike Lee did a wonderful job, as he does with a lot of his movies. Cinematography was nice.
Definitely has a lot of his trademarks. His camera work is always so innovative. His fast-paced editing. It's a great movie, and it's based on a true story, which is so alarming to see that this happened in the 70s. And
it's a fascinating story.
It's a fascinating story. Yeah, so good. My number 4 is a film called Blindspotting.
Okay.
I don't think that you saw this.
I have not.
It's a movie that has similar conflicts and themes to Green Book, actually. It reminded me a lot of Green Book. It's definitely a buddy film. It's a white guy and a black guy, And it's a movie that talks about all of the struggles that we've been talking about with the African American experience, you know, racism and stereotypes. And what's cool about this movie is that it's the perfect blend of comedy and serious social commentary. And a lot of the scenes are told through poetry slams. The movie is definitely very disarming in a lot of places. But anyway, great movie.
All right, that sounds a lot like my number 3 movie on my list, Green Book. I loved that movie, and I mean, it's not my favorite movie, but I like how they mixed the drama with the humor. It was a nice balance. It wasn't too heavy on one side. It had compelling scenes. You know, again, looking in the past, the African American conflict. Beautiful acting from Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali.
Great chemistry between the two of them.
They definitely deserve their nominations.
Absolutely.
If you haven't watched it, go watch this movie.
Oh yeah, it's the feel-good movie of the year in my opinion. Great watch. I'm glad it's on your list. My number 3 is my favorite science fiction movie of the year. I cannot talk this movie up enough. When I watched the ending of this movie in the theater, I found myself looking around, wanting to see other people's reactions, because I was like, what am I watching right now? Is this really happening?
The Predator.
Nope, not the Predator, not the Predator. No. But people were watching the screen just like me.
Sorry.
They were like, it's Annihilation, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Annihilation. It's a movie that talks about evolution and about our abilities to change, or our unwillingness to change with evolution, and Natalie Portman is at the center of it. There's some feminist undertones in there. I likened it to the experience of watching something like 2001: A Space Odyssey, where it's very abstract and open to interpretation and
mind-bending, huh?
It's unlike anything I've ever seen, and definitely a very unique movie this year.
So getting closer to number 1, my number 2 was a movie that totally took me by surprise. Yeah, I'd heard a lot about it, but when I saw the trailers, I was like, I'm not sure if I'll like this movie. It was If Beale Street Could Talk.
Wow.
That was one of my big surprises of 2018.
Your second favorite of the year.
My second favorite of the year, guys.
It was lower on my list, but it's a great movie, man.
Yeah, it really is, because it's I'm a very character-centered person. Yeah. And so the cinematography, like you had mentioned in the theater, was a very intimate look.
Yep.
The way they shot the cameras, we had a lot of upward angles, a lot of close-ups during the conversations.
Beautiful. Yep.
The score was great, the orchestral score, the jazz music, the great all-around acting, my goodness. Relevant dialogue, meaningful dialogue that really rounded the characters, and I can't speak enough about the cinematography, about how relevant it was. So yeah, that's my number 2.
I'm glad it's so high up on your list, man.
It's a non-traditional look at a love story.
Absolutely, yeah. Very real, very raw. Good. Well, my number 2 film of the year is Black Klansman. Spike Lee's Black Klansman. You already said a lot. You already said a lot about it. I was left in the theater feeling stunned, you know, just like I just finished watching Saving Private Ryan, you know, like
the ending was very impactful.
It just kind of like, you know, it built up to that, and it says so much about our current political climate. It has a great soundtrack, by the way, and it perfectly captures that time period.
Yeah, the 70s,
and all the callbacks to blaxploitation were so good, and Spike Lee's signature in there. It's a must-see film.
Yep, I totally agree with you. Obviously, it's on my top 10. So. Okay.
The moment we've been waiting for.
Number 1.
Our number 1 film of the year.
Okay, so this is a movie that when I watch a trailer, and when a lot of people watch the trailer, they were like, not so sure about that. It looks a little different. The trailer didn't give much away. A lot of people felt like this topic had been overdone in the last year or two, but I don't care, because for all the reasons that you said, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was my most enjoyable movie. It's been a long time since I've wanted to go back to the theater to watch it again.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great movie.
The animation, the soundtrack, I still listen to the soundtrack at least once a day.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack is awesome.
All the different characters in there, it was funny, it was heartwarming. I can't say enough about this movie.
It's on my list.
Favorite.
It's on my list, so I'm glad it's your number 1.
I'm getting dizzy just talking about it.
Yep, great movie, great eye candy, but beautiful eye candy and meaningful as well.
Yeah.
So my number 1 choice of the year is on your list. I had a big big smile on my face at the end of this movie. It's the feel-good movie of the year. It's a buddy film. It's Mahershala Ali. It is Viggo Mortensen. It is Green Book. This was my favorite movie of the year. You know, the chemistry with these two actors, they carried this movie throughout, and it's great that they show you, you know, the intricacies of their evolving friendship, but they also show you things about their private lives, you know, like in the case of Viggo Mortensen's character, you go back to his wife and his family.
Characterization.
Yeah, great characterization all around, very funny and touching all around. Great movie.
So there's our top 10 list for 2018, guys. Let us know in the comments below. What did you think of our picks? Do you think mine was too screwy, or did you think his was the perfect list? Let us know, guys.
Of course mine was the perfect list. And also share in the comments below what your favorite films of the year are, and look us up on Facebook at Real Screeners and on Instagram real.screeners.
Okay, guys. And as always, we ask you guys, please subscribe if you like our videos. Don't forget to hit that bell button. And we cannot wait for the films in 2019, starting with Glass.
Starting with M. Night Shyamalan's Glass.
That's right. And what better place to watch that, guys, than the Alamo Draft House, so definitely hit that place up. That's our real take on the best movies of 2018, and keep tuning in for our real takes on movies. So we'll do the,
I think that 2010, let's do that over.
I don't know why I just did that. Okay. You know, I can see... Okay. Again. Nope. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. Rounding out my top 5 is a movie that was super popular. This movie. It's too late.
It's a super popular this movie.
It's too late in the movie. I mean, in the evening.
It's too late.